So welcome back to the channel, guys. Yeah, so it's just after Christmas, so I hope you all had a really good Christmas and you got all the car parts you wanted, basically. Yeah, basically we're back in the shed. We're working on the engine again for the Clio that's behind me there. So I've got the tedious task of just cleaning and getting, possibly get the valves out as well. The valve stem seal, sorry, out. And we're going to give the actual valves a good clean as well. I've got some like scouring pads, basically. They're just the green ones, so they're not going to scratch, and we can take a lot of the carbon that's off of these, basically. As you can see, they're the inlets, so they're pretty crappy as they are, as you can see. But as you can see, the exhaust ones are really, really bad. So you can see there's quite a lot of crap on these, so we're going to clean all these up basically and see what we can do with them. And then the other tedious task I've got is, you can see all this yellowing burnt oil that's all on the top of these surfaces. I need it to look like this. So what I'm doing is, I've got 800 grit sandpaper, and we're literally just going to skim the surface and just take off all the residue from all this oil, basically, it's just built up on here, because it's gone really hard and really sort of brittle at the same time. So you can see it's all burnt there, and yeah, so we're going to clean all that up. But obviously I'm not going to show you all of that, but I'm going to come back when I've done all this. But it's definitely going to take a while. This has taken about a minute or so just to get this away, so it's probably going to take about half an hour to do the rest of it. And yeah, I'll show you when I've done. Right, so we've got some more progress done, guys. So we've got the whole top here cleaned off and all scraped off. We've got all that yellow burnt oil off, so it's looking really nice across here now. So what I've been doing now is getting the old valve stem seals out of the engine. So that's what they look like there. I'll leave it there. So that's what they look like. They're really, really dried out and really bad. So yeah, we've done this whole inlet side here, and we're just about to do the exhaust side here. So all I'm doing is basically, because we're not using them again, I've got a new set obviously, we're just getting the pliers and we're just pulling them out. But they are being really stubborn, it's taking quite a bit of time. So that's probably taken me about 40 minutes to do this side. So I'm going to try and do this side, and yeah, basically come back to you when I've got these out. So you can see I've done 4 of them there, and we just got 1, 2, 3, 4 there left to go. So I'm going to crack on with these. And then hopefully, basically there is no real objective for this video. It's just trying to get as much done by Sunday. It's now Wednesday, to try and get most of this engine back together. And yeah, and then I've got a friend coming down, hopefully helping me. And hopefully over this Sunday coming and the following Sunday, hopefully this will all be complete, and the rest of the engine will be fully assembled and back in the car. That's the plan anyway. So yeah, we've got, obviously, like I said before, full gaskets and everything to go completely through this engine. But I do have a surprise for you guys, and the reason why I'm probably not going to tell you just yet, because I want to make a video on it just on its own. But let's just say that there's other plans for this car. So yeah, we're going to get this back together and we'll go from there. So I'll show you in a sec how far I get once I get to the next stage. Right, so for some of you that are interested in this procedure, basically what I'm doing is, I've got my valve stem seal just there, as you can see. You can see that there. So what you need to be really careful of is not damaging the top head and the oil spring that's around that, basically. So well, I've had to learn this the hard way, so I've had to get another set of valve stem seals and replace a couple that I damaged. So without the tool, the trick was to it, I've got one of these magnetic pickup tools, so I just put that flat on the top of the actual valve stem, just like that. And then what I've been doing is getting some of my assembly lube, so Lucas assembly lube, and then just been putting this just inside the valve stem seal, just where it grabs the guide. So you can see that's all lubed up. And then all I've been doing is just pushing these on by hand. So just to the point where it goes on level, so we've got a good start. And then what you do is I've got an extension and an 11mm socket, deep socket, just with a drive there. Basically, you can see a 11mm. So just put that over, square onto the edge of the valve stem seal, and then just give it a few thumps until you can hear the tone change. So we'll see if you can actually hear it on the camera. So you should have heard that then, changing a slightly different note. You can hear the tone difference basically, so it goes from that sort of dull thud to like a metal thud. There you go, so that's the noise that you're looking for, that noise there. So it's very faint, but you can hear it. Once you've done a few, you'll be able to hear the difference. So, right, so we've got the all the valve stem seals in there, and then basically all I'm going to do next is replace this, I think it's a knock sensor that's basically here. I basically went through all the sensors that I could possibly find on this engine, and we're going to try and swap them all out. So yeah, this is the only one that's I've left on the block basically, so I knew which one it was. So we're going to swap this one out. And like that, guys, we have a new knock sensor in, so that's all done. So that's looking much better. Nice new fresh sensor there. So again, like I say, these are all like, it added up to probably about £110 I think it was for all the sensors in the end, and the pulley and a new belt and all these little bits like, you know, sealants and things like that, just to do a full sort of, well, a complete sort of sensor change, if you like. I don't know what you'd call it, overhaul. But it's worth doing, you know. These are like 10-15 quid a piece. I know it can add up, and if you can't fit it into your budget, but it's definitely worth doing while you've got it off, because a lot of these sensors you just cannot get to them while they're in the car. It'd be an absolute nightmare. As you can see, this is where the intake manifold is, and the intake manifold on this car is, well, it's probably bigger than the head, which is just crazy, but I guess that's how they probably extract a bit more power out of these little engines. So yeah, so I'm going to crack on, and we're going to try and reassemble most of the head and get most of that basically ready. So yeah, I'm going to try and figure this out. I haven't come to it for the last few weeks. I'm going to try and get familiar with it again, and yeah, we'll see if we can get this reinstalled. Right guys, so you'd have seen in the previous clip where I had most of the engines sort of ready to put the valve stem springs back on with the retainers and the collets, but I came into a bit of a problem with that tool that I was using. It basically, on this particular head, on this Clio, you can't push the collets past the valve stem with that tool. They just bottom out completely. So I had to basically go and buy one of these tools here and do it sort of, if you like, the old-fashioned way. And it has worked, so I've spent all evening doing that basically. So this is how we've got the head so far. We're sort of back to almost stage one again. I do have all the bolts lined up, ready to go, and then I've changed the camshaft oil seals that are down here. You probably can't see them, but I've put them on both of them. We've got all the gaskets obviously in that engine, in that box over there. And then I've just had a clean up basically. I know it looks really messy as it is, but trust me, it was a lot worse. And all this up here. So yeah, basically we're going to have some help come down on Sunday. It's Friday night tonight. So I'm going to have some help come down who's another mechanic, and he's going to give me a hand trying to reassemble this, because I know on my own it's going to take a lot longer, and I do want to just get this done now basically. So it's just a lot easier with obviously two people, the weight of the thing, and putting it all back on that block, and then I won't second guess myself. He's way more confident at doing these things. You know, this is the first time I've done it. It's been a great experience doing it, but like I say, it's very time consuming, and I could have gone a lot more in depth with a lot of these things, like doing the whole bottom end, but I just found there's no time for it, and like I say, I managed. Well, I've found an alternative to what this is. So my idea is to put this engine back in, obviously do all the changes, the head gasket, all that kind of stuff, refurb what we can from now, and just refresh the whole engine from what we've got, basically, you know, belts, things like that, cam belt. Lock that back in, and obviously it's January now, sort of end of January. Hopefully, if we can get this back together, my mechanic's coming down Sunday, and also obviously he's not going to get it all done in that day. He's going to be down the following Sunday, I think the 2nd of Feb, something like that. I think it lands on, and then that'll be hopefully the engine going back in the car, and then we can get this back up and running, because I'm getting sick of seeing this on jack stands, basically. So yeah, it's just absolutely getting just worse the longer it's here, basically, and I just want to get it out. My seats have gone completely mouldy, so as you can see there, loads of mould on them, so I don't know if they're even savable. I hope they are, so I don't have to buy more seats, but we'll have to give them a rub down clean, and hopefully we can get them to come back up. Otherwise I might have to put like some seat covers over them or something like that, just to make them look a bit nicer. But yeah, and then we did get, I think, most of the roll cage sort of buttoned up. We just need to sort of tidy up the edges and just double check everything. I did seal it all out, and then I just want to do the underneath as well with the under seal, and just get some like tiger seal in all the seals, and just because all the water's just getting in between all the layers of the steel section when it was welded, so they're just going to keep rotting otherwise. So we're going to use like a sealant of some sort just to seal them up, make sure no water can spray up inside underneath them. And then yeah, then we'll just give it a quick spray paint, give it a nice quick spray paint over the rear arches, clean it up a bit, you know, make it presentable if you like. It's never going to be a show car, obviously. And then I just want to get it out, do some track days. My local track's Liddon. It's like a rallycross circuit, but yeah, it's a small circuit, but yeah, I just want to get it out and take it down there, basically, and do effectively my first track day, believe it or not. I've never been able to do one, and this is what this car was bought for 4 years ago. I hoped to just be able to just take this down there and enjoy it, basically, for what it was, but it just needed too much work. And obviously, look, it just gets on and on and on, and then you just end up doing one thing after another, and it's just never ending, basically. You never get to enjoy it. Obviously I managed to get it kind of finished at one point, and then obviously the damage from rear end, blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm hoping we can really get this sort of buttoned up and to a decent state, and we can go from there, basically. But like I say, I've got big plans for the engine. You'll see that coming up hopefully soon in another video. And yeah, sorry it wasn't very sort of informative, obviously, about the engine and building it, but it is my first time doing it, and I wanted to make sure I'm doing it right and concentrate when I'm doing it. So as far as I'm aware, everything's okay, but like I say, I've got this mechanic coming down. He's going to double check everything I've got done on it, so, and then he can talk it down to the right settings and go from there. So yeah, anyway, it's enough waffling anyway. But yeah, it's probably going to be a long video from all this all these clips. I think they're over a few days of me coming in sort of every other evening to get some work done on it for a couple of hours here and there. But yeah, like I say, we've got the under seal there, so we want to spray that up as well, make sure it's all nice and clean underneath this car. Another thing I just did as well, I managed to put a poly bush on the exhaust mount here, if you can see that yellow one. Yeah, so that's absolutely solid now, that's not moving absolutely anywhere. Yeah, and that's about it, guys. So yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for your patience. I know it's been a long time between these uploads, but these things obviously are costing a lot of money, and it's taken a lot of time to do these things around obviously a full-time job and life as it is. You know, it's been over Christmas, etc., and there's a lot going on this time of year anyway. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate all the new subscribers and the likes and the comments. Don't forget to leave a comment, anything you want to ask us about the videos or anything that's going on here. I'm happy to answer any questions. But yeah, don't forget to leave a like, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.